Welcome to the Vault Podcast. It's Dave. Over there is Dan, and in the middle is Jess, right where she belongs. Hi, Jess. Hi, Dan.
Hi, how's it going?
The last time we were together as the Vault Podcast was, I believe, Colour Conference last year, where we did that up on the top level, if you remember, overlooking Sydney.
That's right.
Remember that? And it's a
special episode.
This is a very well. That was a special episode. This is a special episode. We have been very busy. Of course. So,
what's been going on with you, David?
A whole year. We're. What I mean is,
it's just been a whole year.
It's been a whole year. We kind of put a pause on the podcast because we had to make 47 other videos a week, and it was very difficult to get together.
What?
What could it have
Just
been?
the year flies by.
I've got to do my intro. Welcome to the Vault Podcast.
Hey.
The Vault is where you store all your most valuable things, and the most valuable thing for us in ministry is wisdom. We are wanting wisdom, and we are hopefully giving wisdom, and that's why you watch us also, because, hey, you're part of our team. Welcome, everybody. You may
and we want to be on your team.
Yes, can we? Oh, Jess has gone fuzzy. Hopefully it'll come back. We are live.
Come on, there we go.
We are in different countries, actually, and different locations. So let's see. Anything could happen in this recording. Dan is their resident fact checker, of course, always just checking the things that we say. Jess is the holder of the wisdom, and I push the buttons. And so thank you for being with us. Let's just salute Terry, even though Terry is not with us. Terry,
Where is he?
Well, we haven't quite worked out the custody arrangements now that we're streaming from 3 different places. It's the Terry tri-custody battle at the moment.
Absolutely.
I've lawyered up.
Terry, though, is currently a part of Sunday Night Games. That's what he appears on. If you watch our weekend services, you will know that Terry's a part of Sunday Night Games. Now, let's jump straight into it because this is just a one-off special. We just thought we really wanted to catch up and talk about what we've been doing. We're not even going to do questions today, Dan, unless there's a really good question. We're just going to be talking.
Well, I have one question.
Yes. From
everybody who wants to know.
Yep.
Is this a special episode or is this potentially a relaunch?
Well, we're going to see what happens. We're going to see Dan. We're going to see what happens. Oh gosh, we don't know. We just thought we'd get on the video thing and see what happens because it's so much better when we're in the room together. It's so much easier, and we think better for the audience. But let's see what happens, guys. Hopefully, if you listen to this, and then you can email us at Dan. Where do they email us?
Oh my gosh, I wasn't ready for that. The Vault at Hillsong. Yes, of course.
Good job. The Vault at Hillsong.com.
Shout out to Tash.
Shout out to Tash.
That's all I remember from season 1.
100%. If you would like us to continue, but the only way that we're going to come back, I think, is if we've got a million questions and you really want to know some stuff and you've got stories to tell and questions to ask, then we will obviously kick this up another gear and join back in. But let's talk about it very quickly. I think the last episode we did actually make. Technically, Dan, can you just double check that as the fact checker?
The official episode was on episode 13, which was filmed on the 11th of December 2019, published the 16th of December. That was the end of season 1.
Yes,
it's called the finale.
Yes,
and then we did a few special episodes, and we've been kicked back into gear since.
But what was the didn't we talk about what we were doing during the
we did a very special we did a very special one about downtime activities, how we're handling the
yes.
Yeah, we did a summer camp one, and we did one about how we're handling the current situation and what we're doing. And we also did a special live stream, which I was pretty pumped about, all about music licensing, what people are doing around the world, and we connected with some friends from all around the world, seeing how they were handling the season that should currently not be named.
If you would like to see any of those videos, pop on the YouTube. You might be watching YouTube right now with us and our beautiful faces, or you could be listening to this on audio. But if you do want to see some of those specials, then jump on the Vault podcast. No, Hillsong Kids Leadership Plus
Hillsong Kids Leadership.
Yes, the channel. But here's what we do want to do. I'm just going to start off, and we're going to talk about we did over the last few months. What have we did? How did our approach morph to dealing with the situation? And we will talk about that, I think, is a good place to start. So let me...
Many morphs, Dave. So many morphs.
So many morphs. I'm going to try and recap it. You guys jump in if I'm wrong. But we started off in one of our giant rooms and one of our program rooms for the weekend on a couch that Jess, I believe you headbutted at some point, if you remember.
No, I fell. on a live stream. It was amazing.
During the live stream, she fell over. That lasted for a few weeks where we were all together as a team across Sydney, not across Australia, but across Sydney. We all came together to do a live stream.
I was there, yeah.
But then we were concerned. We were concerned about further lockdowns.
Yes, because we couldn't all be in the room at the same time, because if one of us got sick, then we would all have to quarantine. And we said, well, we've got to split this up. So we split.
Yeah, that would be the worst.
100%.
Yeah.
So then we split to different locations around Australia. We have Nathan.
4 different studios.
4 different studios. Yep. And that, now, what were we doing? Just to explain, we really felt strongly to live stream a service because we want that instant connection with the kids. And it was tricky at the beginning because we were using Instagram comments as the means of communication. So you would go to the live stream service image on Instagram and you would type in your comments.
Yep.
Kids would with their parents. It was good for a while and that worked for a long time.
We had team in the background. Team would get in there and like read the comments and put them on like a Google sheet, and then we'd read the shout outs out. Yeah.
It was a whole process. There would be a leader typing the comments.
It was pretty manual. It was great.
A Google document that would update in our studios, and it was a whole thing. Then, so that lasted for quite a while.
Cool.
It worked fantastic.
Yeah,
it was so hectic. Like I remember, like my son and your son, they were involved in like pressing buttons to make it all work, and then team were inputting the comments. It was so, it was just so wildly live.
Anything could happen, but that was the fantastic thing, and one of the great things that allowed us to do was that we didn't have to spend hours each week filming content for the weekend. We just went live, and we felt like that was better to have maybe a lower quality but more connection.
Well, we had our world-class curriculum in amongst it,
yes.
So
True story.
Which we tried to make available which we kind of did make available to all churches if they wanted to use it too. That was pretty cool.
If you don't really understand the difference between what a live offering would be compared to pre-recorded content, you just need to jump onto YouTube and go to any of the gamers out there. And Mr. Beast, for example, he does some gaming at the moment. And if you look at how they do a live stream, which they'll stream on Twitch, compared to his polished videos are hours and hours and hours of content.
Yep.
And then his live streams are very rough, very raw, but you're connecting with them. And there's a lot more grace for a live stream to have less polish because it's live and you can connect with them and you can comment and they'll read it out and give a shout out. You can play Kahoot with them live.
Yes.
It's quite amazing. And even though the production quality is less, the engagement is higher. So it's an
I love it so much. I actually met Dave. I didn't even tell you at because my husband and I oversee a couple of campuses, and at the most latest one that we're overseeing, who I haven't quite met everybody yet, I had this family come up to me and, stand there like all excited to talk to me. I'm like, this is weird because I'm not in curriculum. I don't normally get this. And they were just, the little girl was hiding behind the parent. And then I'm like, oh, who are you guys? And then as they started to talk, I'm like, oh, you're Shahil. This is awesome. And it was so fun.
And Shania. That's
and I was like, I'm so sorry I sent you a girl's gift in the mail.
Wow.
Because I got the names muddled and sent the wrong gifts to the wrong kids. But anyway.
So you were their tribe champion from Sunday night games.
Yes,
that's
it was
epic.
so fun. They'd been involved since the beginning of the whole online thing. And it was just so fun to meet them. Awesome. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted.
Let's talk about
I got an email from his mum saying he's actually graduated to youth, but he really likes Sunday night games. Do you mind if he watches that but still goes to youth on the Friday? We're like, sure there.
So let's talk about that. So a few months in of doing these live streams, up to 9 a weekend, And I still think doing 9 a weekend is less work than having to film during the midweek. That's still my opinion. And we decided we need to do something different on Sunday nights. So we introduced Sunday night games, which is where we met a bunch of amazing kids who we knew from church, but some of them just became legends. They would send in videos and connect with us, and that would be, when you do something, there's always a very small percentage, 80-20% rule. 20% of the kids will give us 80% of our content. And so we had 20% of our kids really engage with Sunday night games and get on a tribe and get on a get on the bandwagon of sending us things to get points. Anyway, it was incredible, and that started
from around the world. We had
Yeah.
we had the Colombian sisters. We had we had Micah from the UK.
I had
Oh no! Oh, we lost you. Oh, she's back.
Oh, I was just saying that one of the parents was like, "I'm so sorry, my child. I cannot stop them. Like they just keep sending in photos of like a rock they found on the beach or just different stuff."
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, it's okay. Bring it on. Keep up the good work.
We love it.
We absolutely loved it, and there was that really obviously there was lots of kids watching. I mean, this weekend we'll have kids from Ireland, from South Africa, from where's that? There's a Switzerland
Uganda?
family, Uganda, a Switzerland family who have moved to Cambodia as missionaries, and they can join us. And I'm like, this is incredible. So we stepped up our game with Sunday night games, and that's been a real big hit. And here's what's been fantastic about it is that we've taken that back into our live services at church. Now that we're gathering together again, all of our church services around Australia on Sunday night join in with the Sunday night games. So it's not only helped us online, it's actually helped us offline when we're meeting together live. So we started off one location, we split into 4 studios. We've now consolidated back to about 2, which is the City and the Hills location. And we do Sunday night games from the City, and Hills does Sunday morning. Just a
fact check,
yes.
David. My first for season 2. I'm officially saying this might be season 2. Please. 3 studios. The Perth studio is still active and running and runs a Friday night service and Saturday night service.
Yes, that is true. That is. I can't believe I forgot it, but yes, we still have Nathan in Perth who does run we have night services on Friday night and Saturday night in some locations, so we do need to keep providing, because that was our goal from the beginning. Whenever church is on, Hillsong Kids is on. And so that was our that was what we said. Okay, if that's what we're going to be, if that's what our bar is, how are we going to do it? And that's why we started doing live. Now, so that's where we're up to, and that's what we're doing right now. We're just trying to figure out what services, as our church figures out what services we're doing, but we have a great system. We really push the limits of our systems. As you can see today, I've got Dan, who's currently in a different city, Jess, who's in a different city, and I'm in a different city, but we're all on one live stream together. And this is not fancy equipment. I'm just using so at home, you're thinking, oh my gosh, these guys must have the best equipment in the world. Here's what I've got. A webcam, basic webcam. Jess is using a webcam. Dan's using a webcam. We've all got reasonably decent microphones. You can see Dan's there. These are maybe $100, $150 for a microphone. There it is. Look at that. Because we decided we need good audio. And I'm using OBS Ninja, which OBS.Ninja, it's a pretty nerdy solution if you want video, but if you're into this kind of thing, OBS.Ninja, and I'm using OBS, which is a free software on a PC, which is a pretty decent PC, but this is the one that we use for streaming. So this setup right now is actually not incredibly fancy. There's no fancy cameras.
I'm pretty sure my light might electrocute me one day.
Right. Have you got a ring light? Did you buy a ring light? Was that what you've got?
Yeah, but it's got I had to tape the plug together to plug it in.
Right. So there are some pretty decent.
That's not good.
Decent eBay specials you can find if you search a ring light. Or Dan has got a pretty nice light. Mine is this little square thing here, which is battery powered, and I should have not touched it because I've ruined it. All right. So
what he's saying is you don't need hundreds and hundreds of euros. You can just tear that up and just throw that away. You don't need that.
Guys, if you're listening,
I don't know why.
Dan just
He
ate
just ate
a euro.
€500 or something.
He's always got a trick
Mm.
ready. He's always got a trick. Jess is gone. We've lost Jess again. She'll come back though. We can still hear you, Jess. There she
Good.
is. There she is. So that's where we're at right now. So what have the wins been, Jess? What has been the biggest win you've found over the past year? Good question. Good question.
I feel like the
Thank you,
win
Dale, for
is,
sending in.
I feel like the win is kids feeling like they're part of something bigger than themselves. Like I'm from a location, well, I oversee a location that's quite small, and having those kids feel connected to a bigger picture and kids all around Australia, if not the globe, is actually so fun and just gives them just an eye-opening to the wonderful thing that they're a part of, you know. So I've loved that. And I also love, I got two. I had like 2 or 3 people just in my local campuses, like the whole family came to church and made decisions for Jesus because the child had stumbled across us over YouTube and started watching consistently and then asked to come to Hillsong Kids in the flesh. So that's pretty
great.
wild.
Dan, what is your biggest win from the last year?
Well, I think Jess took all the good ones because she had 2 and started. I will say though, we experience with our big conferences, we experience an awesome thing where people unite and the kids feel like there's part of bigger something themselves, as Jess was saying, and we get this amazing boost that we then boost in the service. But it's only like we can only get 2,000 kids to these things, and being able to do that week in, week out and connect kids has been quite amazing. And I've loved being able to see, especially through Sunday night games, certain kids shine and their parents, like, because the parents have to submit the videos, even that is getting into it, and then they're helping, doing some editing and all this. So a whole family's getting behind it. There's a family from Tasmania called themselves the Valor Boys, and then they did some challenge, and then the dad does the challenge and the mum does the challenge. It was perfect. So shout out to the Valor Boys.
Awesome. It's true.
It's just so good.
It was. Our families, for the first time, got to see a little bit of what we do. So I think my favorite win for the last year is that idea that, the parents kind of got to glimpse inside, and it's funny. They know you more than they kind of let on, I think, sometimes. They'll say hi to you, but every now and then when you attach to them, they'll go, oh, hang on, though. They know, they kind of know what's going on here for the first time a little bit. Like the Sunday night game, what tribe their kids are in. And because their kids will make them go and buy a blue headband or something to support their tribe or something. And so that was huge. There was a video one kid sent in that at a random park, there was a big honor sign. Yep.
Like it was like
written
in bronze or something like that.
Why.
For some reason, that's the kind of stuff that some council will put up as on a park or whatever. And the conversation, the kids driving, and then just would see it, and then just started screaming, "Stop the car! Stop the car! We've got to go film over there and submit it." It's
great.
Priceless. Dad, stop!
It's so amazing. It's like Hillsong Kids and like church infiltrating just the everyday life of like a child wanting to send a photo like that, or a photo of a rock on a beach or something blue they found. That's crazy. Yeah. Awesome.
Or a 12-minute video that I watch every single minute of, and then cut it down to 30 seconds for them.
Yeah. That's the thing. Let's talk about submissions. So one of the big wins is we had a Hillsong Kids app that we released, and this was for the kids of our ministry and the families of our ministry. That was what the app was intended to connect them. So we said, well, let's just use that. So you can go and download, and I encourage you to have a look at this. If you search on the App Store for Hillsong Kids, it'll bring up the Hillsong Kids app. There it is. And the reason I bring it up is because that's what we use to submit videos. So again, we're trying to be really safe, and we need to talk about the chat solution that we came up with.
Oh, it's so good.
But what you do is you click on chat with us in the app, and then there's ask gods, thank you gods. So kids can put in their prayer requests or praise reports, talking about salvation. There's a vote, submit videos and photos. So our kids would go onto this with their parents, and there was a whole now we did this with our legal team, so we wanted to make sure it was all, strictly safe and also, really legal. So we didn't want any problems. And so we have a very, very detailed consent release. And so you can jump on there, have a look at that. So because we loved this form, and this form, I think, was a Google form embedded into, anyway, the nerd side of it is that it was, I think, a Google form or a form embedded into the app. Very reasonably simple to do, not the app part, but but the form. And so there's a system there that you can duplicate in your own ministry if you want to do something like this. But let's talk about the solving of the chat. So we of course were doing Instagram, and Jess, from the very beginning, I'm like, oh, this is okay, but I really wanted something better.
Yeah, totally.
Dave, why weren't we doing YouTube chat?
Oh,
would
yes.
you like to?
Well, number one, we're a kids
in
channel, and YouTube has disabled the chat on kids' YouTube channels. But also, we wouldn't want to use
about a year ago.
We wouldn't want to use it because it's a wasteland of who knows what can type in there, and you just don't want to open that up to your live stream. No. So we said, well, that's not going to be an option from the very beginning, which is why we went to Instagram, which is much more heavily moderated, and we're sending chosen comments into the live chat so we can live host so they can read them out. So here's what I came up with. This was many months of me talking to our church safety team and our child safety team. The idea is we take Zoom, which everybody has used, every working person I think has used.
I've heard of it.
And we said, let's do this.
Skype 2.0.
Let's make a Zoom room, a Zoom, what is that thing?
Webinar.
A webinar, yes.
Webinar.
A Zoom webinar room. So there is one or two hosts, and everybody else is a participant, which means you can't see their video feed, but they can type in the chat. So we open up the live webinar chat, and what we've been doing is on a separate computer or a laptop or even an iPad, we've had a behind-the-scenes camera view of the live stream, and then there's chat going on. So if you jump on the chat, you get to see behind the scenes as a kid, and you also get to talk directly to the hosts that are in front of that behind the scenes camera. We mute it so you can't hear the host, so it doesn't get confusing between the live stream up in front of you and behind the scenes. But it's been brilliant for chat. So we've had instant chat available for the last few months, and it made such a difference. Hopefully that made sense. The description. It's a webinar where there's participants, and all they can do is type.
Just two things. So they can type directly to the panelists. You can have as many panelists as you want.
Correct.
But they can't. Yes. No one else can see what they. Well, they can see what they type, and then the panelists can reply directly back to them, or then they can reply to do a reply to everyone. Yes. Or the host on the screen will go, "Oh, we've got Dale here saying this. Dale, we're praying for your grandma."
Yep.
We're doing that. And the other thing is a webinar feature is a paid feature. So you have to actually upgrade your account to have that thing, but it's highly worth it. I don't believe it's
so worth it.
It's not insane amounts of money.
For us, it's been incredibly worth it. Incredibly worth it just to help that.
And you also want to make sure that you got like a panelist and a host, or
2 leaders
a couple of adults.
2 leaders. So that's really important, that the kids can only chat to the panelists and hosts. They can't chat between each other. And that is very helpful. I know one service, accidentally, we kind of made all the chat open to everybody. And even that with our kids, there was some kids were getting angry at each other. I'm like, we don't need this. They were firing up. Some kid said something silly, and it was just went, things spiral. So we changed the settings pretty quick and said, let's not do that again. So that has been a massive win as well. We fixed the chat, and now we've got a great system that we feel like we can just jump in at any time and do it live. We had a great summer camp because we couldn't do summer camp in person. We had a fantastic summer camp. Tell us what we did with that, Jess, around the campfire.
Oh, it was so fun. So we encouraged a lot of kids to create their own summer camp experience at home. So we had a lot of like tents set up or backyard fires. But basically, we brought heaps of kids into the studio and just sat around a digital campfire. It looked really cool, actually.
We did. It was
and we had just good campfire talks, and we answered questions, and we ate damper on the screen. And what else did we do?
We had some kids sitting in the background, just a few of our pastors' kids, basically our kids. And then
it was really fun.
So a different style of live stream, but still live, still that element of chat. And it was for all of our kids. This was in late January, of course, summer in Australia here. It was just instead of, they're about to go back to school, and it was a way for us to go, hey, we know summer camp's not on, but join us and we'll have a bunch of fun. We did some games. It was a lot about fun, but also just had a short message, and we encouraged them all to, prayed for them. Anyway.
Yeah, we did the I am scriptures. We because we're talking about who you say I am.
Right.
And so we did I am. Remember, Dave, you were beautiful.
I was so beautiful. So beautiful.
Dave decided to wear
fact check. That is correct.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for fact checking that. Well, so
according to BeckyWakerley.com.
According to my wife, I am beautiful. So, so that's it. That's what we've been doing for the past few months, the past year. Thanks for checking this out, everybody. It's been great to be back at the Vault. Of course, we want to do more of these, but if you really want to see more of these, and you've got questions, especially about live stream and technology, let us know. Dan, what are you doing?
Season 2? Is this the launch of season 2? Please.
We'll see how we go.
I can hear Max in the background.
No,
Jess.
it's not my dog. That's a high pitch.
Isn't that your dog?
No, if it was my dog, you would definitely know. But that is the neighbourhood.
Max got kicked off the set once at.
Who brings a dog to a live stream?
Like he was going to attack Dave.
Who brings a dog to a live stream? Thanks,
those
everybody.
Were long days. Bye.
See you, everybody. We'll see you in the next Vault somewhere in the future.